I just sold a lot of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Hey gang, this is Mike with MrNoFluff.com, and a couple of days ago I sold a bunch of Bitcoin, which is roughly on February the 17th, which was right around $47,000. Let me give you the exact number. Right there is where I sold it. Right there, February 15, it was almost $48,000, $47,000, 945, blah 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 blah. Okay, so I sold. Okay, which is basically at almost topping the market. Okay, right around here is where I sold. Right there, a couple of days before. Right there, what I would say, it doesn't go there, but right around February 15th. Now, the proof that I have is that I went 2 days later. Actually, I sold it on the 15th. 2 days later, on the 17th, I ordered myself a knife to congratulate myself for the gains that I made. Okay, so on the February 17th, I ordered a knife. 2 days before, which is February 15th, I exited some of my positionings. Now, why did I exit some of my positionings? Now, before I get into that, I want to just explain that I do have two types of bags. I have what I call my huddle bag, which is long term, and I'm going to give that to my kids whenever I die. And in that bag, I only have Bitcoin. Okay, I don't have any other altcoins. So on my huddle positioning, I only have Bitcoin, and I'm not going to sell that. Okay, I'm just going to hold on to that and give it to my kids. My other positioning is what I called my trading bag, and this is my short-term positioning. Now, on my long-term positioning, like I said, I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to do anything with it. On my short-term positioning, I've already sold 6 sessions or 6 times already into the market when the market was going from 20,000 all the way to 58, if I'm not mistaken, and I've been taking profits. Okay, now why did I break it down into 6 different sell positioning? Because I wanted to maximize my profits, because I wanted to make sure I don't sell it too low. So I broke down what I was going to sell into little chops: 20% here, 15% there, 20% there, 15% there, etc. I do have 20% left in my trading bag, which is my short-term positionings. Okay, now let me say this: I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just telling you my playbook, what I'm doing with my own personal money. And again, right now the markets are extremely high. They're boiling, and it seems like everything's going to crash down. Okay, so going back to the story, why did I sell? Well, because the markets are boiling. Okay, and in my trading bag, I've already liquidated 80% of my positioning. The only 20% that I have is what I call the risk it all, because the market, in my opinion, right now is high risk, low return. I don't care if you're looking into stocks. I don't care if you're looking into real estate. I don't care if you're looking at Bitcoin. In my opinion, for me, the market is boiling, and it's the riskiest time to get in. And on the flip side, it has the lowest return of my investment. You know what I mean? So this is why I've sold most of my short-term bag in cryptos. Okay, now I do have a 20% of my short-term bag still left, and the last 20%, is at all-time risk, because I can lose all this money, right? But even if I lose that 20%, I've already made profits by my 6 trading sessions that I've already made, because I sold in smaller increments, taking profits all the way up. Okay. Now, I do have the 20% left over, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with it. But if you were one of the insiders that was in my academy, okay, then you got to know when I sold back in February 15th. In my academy, you do get free consultation with me. You get unlimited access to the academy, plus you get monthly coaching for very, very low price. Just go to MrNoFluff.com, or actually myrealestatedojo.com, and check out. Or if you're in my profit sharing, then you got to see my trade book. But I wanted to show you, the day that I bought the knife because 2 days before is the date, exactly the day I sold, which was basically timing the market almost at the very, very top. It's very hard to time the market at the very, very top, guys. And then I would say a week later, after I sold, we've seen massive losses in the stocks. We've seen massive losses in the crypto markets. We've seen at least a 20% drop in a variety of different stuff. Now I sold a variety of different my coins. I sold my Bitcoin Cash. I've sold a lot of my altcoins. And so I do have that 20% left in my small trading bag. Now my long-term hold position, remember, I'm not going to sell those Bitcoins ever. I'm going to give them to my kids. But in my short-term position, I've liquidated 80%. There's only 20% left. The 20% is at the all-time risk that I can lose it. But that's what I call my home run bag. Now, if I lose it all, I don't care. I mean, I care, but I've already made profits. I don't want to lose the 20%, but that 20% is where I'm going to, shoot for the fences. I'm going to swing for the fences. Now, there's a high chance that I can lose all of it, or a majority of it, or 60%, 70% of it, because I'm trying to top the peak at the peak. I'm trying to top the cream of the cream, right? That's pretty hard to do, right? Even though I've been taking great profits and timing them pretty good, but I don't have a crystal ball. Like when I sold on February 15, that was topping the top, right? But I didn't get the very, very, very peak. I sold, 5 days later it crashed, right? 7 days later it crashed. Okay, so but my last 20%, I'm going to do my very, very best to time the market to the very, very tip, like a day before it crashes, and then cash out. That's going to be my home run. Okay, now that home run, I can get 1,000% returns. I can maybe get 500% returns. I can get home run returns. But on the flip side, I have the most amount of risk to lose my money. Okay. So now, why did I exit? Because guys, I don't know if you've been watching the stock market, even the gold market, and the gold was like right around 1900. Now we're down significantly. Silver's holding its position. The stock market yesterday was down 536 points. The day before that it was down. The week before that is down. And, and I had an intuition that things are going to melt down. We are seeing that Congress passed the stimulus check because they're seeing the market melt down. Okay, they're seeing the markets melt down. Okay, this morning when I woke up, the markets were down 400 or 500 points, but it's starting to recover. But this is some of the reasons that I'm getting out of the market. Now, my last 20%, once the stimulus check comes in, I'm going to cash out my remaining 20% of my trading bag. Remember, I still have my hodl positioning that I'm never gonna liquidate. Okay, I don't do leverage trading. I don't believe in debt. I don't believe in bankers. So it doesn't matter if I'm talking about real estate. Doesn't talk about if I'm talking about cryptos. I only use my own money, so I don't have to get liquidated or worry about getting liquidated because I did a short positioning or a long positioning. I own my own cryptos, and if my long-term positioning, if Bitcoin falls down to let's say 20 grand, no big deal, because I know in my hearts of hearts that Bitcoin is going to be worth millions of dollars eventually. Just like when the internet came out, let's say in 1998, we didn't realize that how powerful the internet is, how we're going to have apps for everything, how we're going to have Amazon deliver stuff to our door, 2-day delivery, and so on and so on. Okay, we can have Robinhood trading that would allow people to trade, and so on and so on. So most of us didn't have the brain power, neither do I, to see all the potential. That's why I know that I need to have some positionings in my hodl positioning, which is 20 years down the line, right? 20 years down the line, I believe that Bitcoin is going to be the world reserve currency, or one of the world reserve currency. Okay, so my long-term positioning, I discussed it with you. My short-term positioning, I've already been cashing out. I've done 6 sessions, and that's why you saw all those videos on my YouTube about knives, because every time I sold some cryptos, I rewarded myself on a new knife. Okay, I did that for 2 reasons. One is to remind me every time I sold a crypto, what did I got, and also because when I had my multiple businesses from a moving company that had multiple locations, Dallas, Houston, Austin, Fort Worth, etc. Every time I had success in my old life, I would never reward myself, right? I may take myself out to eat, but I never bought anything that symbolizes the success that I had. And that's why I learned that this time, I need to document my successes for myself. So 20 years later, when I look at this specific knife, I'm like, oh, I remember when I sold this much cryptos, or I remember when I sold this much chain link, or I remember I sold this and this, okay? And today, this morning I traded some ADA, because if you were in my profit sharing coaching, you would have known about that I bought, or in my academy, you would have known that I bought Cardano when it was roughly about 5 to 10 cents. Okay, I would have shared with you my playbook, even though I'm not a financial advisor, but I let my students see what I'm doing, my wins and my losses. So you would have saw that I bought Cardano right around 5-10 cents, and now today is at all-time high, almost at all-time high. It was $1.29 when I decided to go ahead and trade 50% of my positionings out of Cardano. Again, I do have that 20% trading left, cryptos left for trading and making moves, but I'm at the very end of my roadbook, totally getting out of the market, besides my HODL position, which is Bitcoin only, and I believe that Bitcoin is going to be the world reserve currency 10-20 years down the line or sooner. Okay, so that's why I sold a bunch of cryptos. I see blood in the streets. I know that this stimulus check is going to help out the economy for a short period of time, and it's going to bump up, right, the gold prices to go up. It's going to bump up the Bitcoin prices to go up. It's going to bump up all this other stocks to go up. But that's going to be the last, in my mind, the last bump, the last juice, before everything collapses, right? Or the markets take a big correction, or whatever you want to call it. So once the stimulus gets into the system, I am going to exit my 20% crypto positioning. I've already made profits. I'm very happy with my positioning, but I can tell you guys it was a rough ride. There was a time a couple of years ago when I was down 89% of my investments. 89%, that's like 90%. If it was anyone else, that would have been sad, depressed, but what can you do? What I didn't do is sell. I didn't have weak hands. I had strong hands, and I believe in it, and I hold on to it no matter what. My motto was, I'm gonna sink with the boat, or I'm gonna go to the moon, and that's how I do anything that I touch. If I get into real estate, my motto is the same thing. If I started a brokerage firm, my motto is the same thing. When I started my moving company, my motto was the same thing. When I got into rental properties, my motto was the same thing. When I got in Bitcoin, when the market started crashing, 2017, 2018, I got into it when it was like 60% off, 50% off, 70% off. But even at that time, the market crashed more and more and more. So one thing I didn't do was to sell, because I knew that was the worst time to sell my positionings, and I just had to hodl, because again, I'm not using leverage, so I don't have to get liquidated. So I knew that eventually it's going to come back up, and I've been very, very happy with the risk that I took. I took major risk. If it was anyone else, I would promise you they would have sold. When you look at your profile and you're down 90%, that means, for example, if you put $10,000 in there, your $10,000 is now worth $1,000, right? $1,000. Be like, most people will be like, okay, let me go ahead and fold, right? But I knew that all I had to do is, after the darkness comes the sunshine, and I just had to, be willing to, submit, be willing to surrender to my ideas, that eventually things will work out for me. And I'm very happy with it, guys. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Click the like button. For my family, if you're a family, I got much love for you. I believe in you. You're powerful. You're creative. You're beautiful. You have imagination. You have the most powerful money system that's not the dollar. It's your imagination, creativity. Much love. Don't take no for an answer. Peace, guys.